Okay, we've come to Llandudno. This is not really a proper YouTube video as such. We've just called in on our travels, so I thought I'd do a bit of recording while I was here. Don't know if it's picking up the pool. There's a little paddling pool here for children, and what's known as the Great Orme is just ahead over there. The Great Orme is basically a big piece of rock that's sticking out into the sea, and it's been built on over the years. I think there's farms on there, and there's like an old church, St Llandudno's church, with an old graveyard that goes back a few hundred years. But I thought as we were passing through, I'd do a little bit of filming. Like I say, it's nothing particularly fancy or anything. Just recording the walk back up to the car, really. There's a lot of nice apartment buildings along the front here, and further up there's quite a lot of hotels. Llandudno is one of the places in North Wales where people come for I don't know, a bit of relaxation. It's not quite as wild as some of the other locations like Tywyn and Rhyl and what have you, is it, Jim?
As well,
yeah, it's a little bit more
upper class,
upper class, yeah. I suppose if you're a bit posher, you come to Llandudno. If you wanted to have a wild party and spend most of the day in arcades and that, you'd be in Tywyn and Rhyl and what have you. Though Rhyl over the last few years has got rid of most of its entertainment stuff. The fair's gone, the arcades have mostly all shut, haven't they? Like you'll see on the Rhyl videos that I've done previously. I've done a video of Llandudno in the daytime on the pier, and the pier is just over there. It's closed at this time of night, unfortunately, because it'd be quite cool to walk along there at night time, but it shuts. I'm not quite sure if it's 5 or 6 o'clock or something, but I think high season it's open a little bit later. But one of the videos I did a couple of months back now was us walking to the pier, and we had like a little bit of a chat as we were coming back along it. They've put up some coloured lights along the front here to make it look pretty, and they go on for quite a distance, really, probably about a mile or so. And they're quite pretty too. I will call back here at some point and do a proper video. It's quite peaceful now, but it's about 11 o'clock now, isn't it?
No, it's always gone. It's about 20 past 9.
20 past 11, so you would expect it to be quite quiet. Around about 10 o'clock here, there was still quite a few people out walking. I was quite surprised, because in the paddling pool back there, even when the sun had gone down and it was getting dark and it was quite cold, there was still a lot of kiddies paddling in the pool. But it was quite chilly at that point. See if we can have a look at some of the apartments. These are all flats, apartments, people live in these. We've parked down this end because if you park further up into town, it's a paying display along most of the front, whereas this part of the front is free to park, so we just parked down here. There's some kind of story with Alice in Wonderland with this place, isn't there, Aunt Marie? I'm not quite sure what the tale is. Is it that Lewis Carroll used to come here with the Liddells, or is it that the Liddells used to come here? I'm not sure. Or Lewis Carroll was born here or something. I'm not quite sure what the tale is. But Lewis Carroll and Alice in Wonderland have got strong links with this town, and the statues of the Hare and Alice and the Wicked Queen and all sorts all over town. Also, during the pandemic, Llandudno featured on the news quite a bit because they had goats that kept coming down off the Great Orme because there weren't that many people out because we were all in lockdown and told to stay at home and things like that. So the streets were empty, so the goats saw it as an opportunity to come down off the Great Orme, and they were climbing in everyone's garden and scoffing all the hedges in the garden, flowers and what have you. So it was a bit of a chuckle on the news for a while. I think we're getting towards more guest housey type buildings now. I think that's the end of the apartments, and they're more little bed and breakfast, short stay guest house places now. We've got a Britannia and the Grafton, St Hilary. Just zoom in a bit on those. It's quite peaceful as well. We're right across the road from the sea as well. A bit too dark for this to pick it up probably, but you might be able to hear it if I hold quiet for a sec. Possibly. I'll have to invest in some decent microphones someday so you can hear things a little better. Yeah, some of these guest house type places now. Nice lamp in the window up there. Again, a few more. That's the Stafford House, is it? I think that's what it says. Trying to see what they say from over here. Coming a bit blind. The Bromwell Court. Albany House. Yeah, a variety of different little guest houses. There's a lot of memorial benches along the front here as well. As you can see, people leave little tributes for loved ones and what have you. People who've passed away, and they've had a bench put along the front here because it might have been one of their favourite places to go. Fairhaven Hotel. It's quite a nice wide path. The side of the cliff is lit up over there as well, and they've done something similar on the Great Orme across the way. Though it's a little bit of a distance, so it might not pick it up on this little lens, but it may do. There is a hotel just at the start of the pier. I think it was quite grand in its heyday, but I think it's fallen a little into disrepair in recent years. It was Butlins Hotel for some time, and then I'm not sure who owns it now, but most of the people I speak to say that it's had better days, but you never know, even better days may come. Pretty lights across the road. Oh, that's got quite a large restaurant in there, so I'm assuming that is also another hotel of some kind. We're coming up on, I think it's the Washington, which is close to where we've parked, to be fair. So I'll probably stop filming shortly. You can hear the waves. But as you can hear a pin drop here. Okay, it's 11:30 at night, but in certain places 11:30 at night it'd be banging, but here it's quite peaceful. I think that's why people who are a little bit older tend to come and holiday here. And as it's getting a bit later, I think they're toning down on the lights on the hotels and things. Like the Washington was quite lit up earlier, but it's a little bit more toned down now. It's a nice looking place though. Disclaimer, I've never stayed there, so I don't know what it's like, but it looks pretty. They've got an outside area at the moment due to COVID regulations. They've had a tent built outside for meals and things. That'll probably be getting pulled down at some point, I would have thought, because I think in Wales everything ends on August the 19th, I think it is. So that may be the end of things like that, I'm not sure. Or they may keep them, I'm not sure. A little bit further on, you can just about see some colours. That's the North Wales Theatre. I've been to that theatre to see the Human League a couple of years ago, but it's been converted at the moment into a rainbow hospital, and I think that is why it's got the colours of the rainbow in the windows. Righto, we're getting towards the car now, so I'll call it quits in a sec. But there's a little view of the front, a few more of the grander hotels and restaurants and what have you. And out over there is the pier. And there's the Washington. A bit more subdued now. Looks like a pleasant place to stay though. Right, so I'm going to shut down and I'll see you soon.